Hi, my name is Michael Hale. I'm very glad you've chosen to learn more about China's view of the world. How China will behave as a global power is one of the essential questions of our time. The key objective in this course, as suggested by the title, is to provide you with an understanding of China's view of the world, the master narrative that it uses to make sense of the world and its place in it. We'll accomplish this key objective by focusing on three broad themes, or core objectives. First, we'll explain the roots of China's sense of superiority embedded in its historic role as the center of East Asian civilization, which comprised its known world. Then, we're going to spend a lot of time exploring how that worldview was fundamentally shaken during what the Chinese call the century of humiliation, and the power of humiliation in shaping and motivating China's behavior. Finally, we'll explore how the Communist Party of China has used the twin narratives of greatness and victimization to reassert China's role on the world stage. In accomplishing these objectives, we'll cover, albeit lightly, over 2,000 years of Chinese history, and tie that history to the developments we're seeing today under the leadership of Xi Jinping. I'll also provide a framework for understanding China's foreign policy direction since the founding of the People's Republic of China, to help you understand what themes will direct current and future Chinese foreign policy. What will this course do for you? I wish I could say that taking this class will allow you to join the ranks of the China hands, ready at a moment's notice to advise world leaders on the inscrutable ways of Asia. Unfortunately, that level of expertise tends to be a lifetime calling. Even for myself, nearly 35 years after taking my first Chinese language course, I'm a bit reluctant to assume the mantle as a China expert because there is still so much to learn. Serious students of China often feel, as Socrates did, that there is only one thing I know, and that is, I know nothing. So you will not necessarily be a China expert by the end of this course, but hopefully for some of you it will spark a lifelong interest in learning about China. Nevertheless, if I do my job well, you will be transformed in several ways. First, you'll appreciate China's perspective on issues, be able to think like they do. Understanding the perspective of another is a core analytic skill and makes you highly useful to whatever organization you support. As the ancient Chinese strategist Sun Tzu said, if you know yourself and know your enemy, you will win 100 out of 100 battles. Second, you'll also understand and be able to explain China's worldview to others. Again, this is the core objective of this course. We're going to hit the key themes again and again, and I'll provide interesting stories, historic anecdotes, and even body counts so that these ideas will be sticky and become a part of your understanding. Third, you'll also gain a good analytic framework for understanding China's behavior. Here at Proficiency 1, we're trying to make you a better analyst. This course will provide the analytic framework you will need to put Chinese behavior into proper context. I expect that after you take this course, you'll hear news about China, anything from a space mission to a diplomatic dust-up, and you'll have an aha moment, where something you learned here will help you understand why China is acting as it does. Now, you may or may not be in a position to share these insights with a key decision maker in the government or corporate world, but at least this new knowledge should make you more interesting at parties or less ignorant in your social media posts. Not that I'm saying that I ever see any posts about China that are ill-advised or poorly informed, of course. Who am I, you might ask, and why should you listen to me about China? In 2018, I retired from the CIA after a 25-year career as an analyst that focused almost entirely on East Asia. I led significant analytic efforts to identify major strategic shifts in the region. I worked closely with U.S. officials at the White House, State Department, and Defense Department to inform and shape U.S. policy. I traveled frequently to East and Southeast Asia and the Pacific region to brief heads of state and other senior foreign partners. I was often asked to play the role of China in war games to help U.S. policymakers understand the Chinese perspective and how their decision-making would work in different scenarios. In my career, I received 19 Exceptional Performance Awards and 4 National Intelligence Director Awards. I was a member of the Senior Analytics Service and served as the Deputy National Intelligence Officer for East Asia. In all, I've spent over 10 years of my adult life living in East Asia. I read and speak Chinese at the advanced professional level. That's 4 out of 5 for those of you familiar with the ILR language scale. I'll be introducing key Chinese terms throughout this presentation to help you better understand the Chinese worldview. But perhaps more important than my career experience, I have a passion for China. I love the history, the culture, and understanding the Chinese mindset. I love cooking Chinese food, and I host my own Chinese New Year feast every year. I've traveled to 26 out of the 34 provincial level administrative divisions in China, and I find China endlessly fascinating. I really enjoy trying to explain China to non-Chinese and put China's behavior into a context that can be more readily understood by outsiders. That is my goal in this course, and why I chose the title I did. I hope that after our 2 hours together, you will gain a clearer understanding of China's worldview. One final note before we start. The information in this course is up to date as of March 25th, 2021. By the time you hear this, the storyline will have progressed, but I'm confident that the context I provide here will help explain these future events from the Chinese perspective.